What could be a reasonable expectation, time frame of turning the economy around to see growth and stability?
I think you should begin to see, well, you know, it's tough. What economists tell you doesn't always work politically. If you're an economist, and something bad is happening, and you slow down the rate at which it happens, if there is a decrease in the rate of increase in something, that's considered a good thing. But that is not a campaign on which anybody wants to run. Going before the public saying, oh, things are really lousy, but if it wasn't for me, they would have been worse. Nobody wants to say that. The public has the right to be more demanding. I think you will begin to see things by the fall. I think that things will start to get better by the fall. I think the economic recovery package will be working. I think the diminution of foreclosures will help. And I know you have people, somebody yelled out, I don't want anyone to think I'm afraid of that. Silly questions. One United Bank is the only black-owned bank in the New England region. We have made great strides in dealing with racial problems in America for a country that started in slavery and then had official segregation for 90 years after slavery was ended, but we haven't fully ended it. And I think it is a mistake to have our attention to race be entirely in terms of sort of welfare programs. They have a place. But I think it is important that we get full participation in the free enterprise system for all Americans. Now, we also have a very good set of studies from the University of Massachusetts Boston, which have documented that in the area of lending, there is still racial discrimination. That if you are a middle-income African-American, you have a greater chance of being given a subprime loan, i.e. a high interest rate loan, than if you are a white person of lesser income. We are working to try and change that. I think having minority banks is a good part of trying to bring everybody into the American system. When, at the request of the Bush administration, we amended the reform bill for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and let me anticipate your other question. On Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the Republicans ran the Congress from 1995 to 2006 and never passed a bill to deal with it. I tried to help the Republican chairman of the committee do that in 2005. He said he got the one-finger salute from George Bush and his right-wing ideology, and it died in the Senate. In 2007, I became chairman of the committee, and within 3 months, we had passed a tough regulatory bill on Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, which also provided for affordable rental housing, because we thought that was the right combination. Didn't pass the Senate for another year. By the time they came up in the Senate, the Bush administration said we want more powers involving Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And in the pursuit of those powers, they stepped in and they zeroed out the value of the preferred shares of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. That was because the taxpayers were going to have to put money in and they wanted to get some compensation. What that did was to put a lot of small banks in America in some jeopardy, because a lot of them held their capital. And the amount that you can lend as a bank depends on how much capital you have. That's the kind of regulation we have to apply to others. Banks can't lend unlimited amounts. They have to lend with some multiple of what they have so they can pay off if they have to. I was approached by the head of the Massachusetts Bankers Association, Dan Forty. They represent, by the way, the community banks, the small banks, who have been unfairly blamed for some of this. And the community banks have continued to be very important, and I'm very proud of my work with them. And they said, here's the deal. We're going to have to cut back lending because you've taken away the value of my share. So we said, okay, we are going to change tax law so that banks, which were particularly urged to buy these kind of shares, will be allowed to deduct that loss all in 1 year, which was very helpful. And that was something that we did explicitly. Then I heard from some of the minority banks that said, yeah, but you know what, as minority banks, we were even more engaged here. So we wrote a piece of legislation, very openly, not any code, it was out there in the bill, to provide that if the regulators found that some of these minority-owned banks were okay, that they could get some help from the TARP program. That it wouldn't just, they weren't getting a grant, they were getting money just as Bank of America got money from other big banks. And the one minority-owned bank in our area, One United Bank, was at risk of going under if they didn't get TARP money. And I did say that I thought it would be a great mistake from the standpoint of the social health as well as the economic integration of our area if the one minority-owned bank went under. So that minority-owned bank, subject to the regulators, and the regulators in charge of it said, yes, we think that if they get this money, they will be healthy going forward. So that's One United Bank, and I do not the only minority-owned bank in